Hey, welcome everybody to the second part of Salima project online info session. And today the topics are work-life and Kela. I will quickly, you can see this now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is just to remind you all about the dates when the other sessions are. And today we have here Sandra from Mirsal, and I will talk about the Kela afterwards. So now you can start, Sandra, if you want.
Okay.
I will stop sharing and you can share your screen.
Okay. All right. Can you all see my screen? Do you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Sandra. I am the chairperson of Mirsal RU. If you don't know Mirsal is an association that provides assistance for immigrants, especially Arabic-speaking immigrants, to integrate here in Finland through different projects and ideas, and also through kind of finding a window for them, like to develop their own skills. We are trying to find like modern ideas of integration that immigrants are not like only receiving the service, but also kind of being engaged in the activity itself, since it's like a creation. Um, Now I will tell you about like the Finnish working system, and also if you become like a worker and you still want to know about your workers, like your rights to get benefit from Kela. Okay, how to get to that second page? Yeah. If you become a worker, so first thing that you have to do is like to inform Kela about your new job. And of course, like they will check your case, but even if you didn't tell them, and they will know themselves from the income registration office, because any like employer, according to the law, has to report like has to report about his employees' income in that system. So already the Kela will know that. And if you become like work part-time or with little money, the good news is Kela still like paying to you. But of course, this it's kind of like adjusted according to according to the money that you are getting. And I will explain like more here. Um, of course, like the money is kind of adjusted according to the income that you gonna have. For instance, if you have like for instance a part-time job, you have to be like maximum working like 8% of the full-time working hours in order like to still get kind of unemployment benefit from Kela. And if you are getting like also a full-time job, but that full-time job is like temporary and it lasts like within like 2 weeks or maximum 2 weeks, then you still also entitled to Kela benefits. And if you work shorter days, then how are like, I think the maximum working hours in Finland are like 8 hours. So or with like, I mean like this is like the maximum normal working hours. So then you are also entitled to take Kela benefits, especially if you like temporary laid off from the work, or you have income from self-employment as well as a secondary business, or you start self-employment while unemployed, like the first time that you make your own business. So they still support you for a while until you become like really well established in the market yourself. or your self-employment activity lasts within a maximum of 2 weeks. Kela pays adjusted unemployment benefit also for the days when you are working. I mean, like if like it means like if you are a worker and and you are filling the paper of unemployment, then if you work less, still they pay for those days that you are working, but you have like to explain like about like the hours of working and the amount um, uh, of yeah. I don't know why here the title is not shown. Anyway, the of course, the amount of unemployment benefit is affected by all earnings that exceed the exception amount that they are putting in Kela. Um, it was like before Corona, maximum 279 euros if the benefit is paid every 4 weeks, and 300 euros if the benefit is paid monthly. Um, but now, because of Corona, they raised the amount. So the exception amount that you can get from Kela, and nothing will change in your unemployed income, is 465 if it's like paid every 4 weeks, and 500 euros if it's paid like monthly. Um, of course, I think that myself is this, if for instance you are taking other benefits from, let's say, social, this will be affected, but I mean the Kela benefits will not be affected, because the social is the last like income that you can ask for. First they calculate all the money that you have, and if you still like being entitled for money, then they will give you the rest to be in the minimum amount that a person can live. But if you are getting money from somewhere else, so they will not pay you, or they will pay for you less. But now we are talking about Kela unemployment benefit. Yeah. I have said also that if you are starting a business and your business is still like new, and you can still like take this unemployment money um, for 4 months at least, or maximum, until your business is becoming like well established. It's kind of support money to make people like more encouraged to open their own business. So already like any person will open a new business, he will not accept like to have expect like to have a good income since like its establishment. So that's why Kela still support him at the beginning. Of course, the unemployment benefit that he get is affected by the income that he will receive, and which means that the income from self-employment reduces the unemployment benefit. You have to report all the time from self-employment in the that you are self-employment in the unemployment status report. If you are laid off 1 or more days per week, the unemployment benefit is not adjusted. Instead, the full unemployment benefit is paid for the time of the layoff. This is like laid off temporarily. And all this information I have received from Kela website. And of course, like if you want to know more, then you have to contact Kela. But now is that I can talk like more about like what kind of other things that you can think about when you start a new job. In our association, we have a project called For Better Work, and is supported by the Ministry of Employment and also Esposity. That project is like to tell Arabic speaking immigrants who start their working life about their rights and duty in the Finnish working system, and how to join trade union. It is like, I know as Arabic speaking person that in our home country is like not well known about these trade union issues, but here in Finland it's like very common. Anyone who is starting his working life, first thing that he think about is like to join a union and to join the unemployment fund that is like related to unemployment benefit that he can get if he will be like unemployed. So in that sense, if a person will be unemployed and he's already entitled to take that unemployment money from the unemployment fund, then he will not get that unemployment money from Kela, but instead he will get that money from the organization who he was like paying for. And this is like more, how to say, like it is like better for him to be with trade union and or to be like with unemployment fund organization, because this is like will give him more money than the money he will get from unemployment salary that he's getting from Kela. It will be like much more, and it will not affect it will not be affected by any other reason. So I think, I don't remember how much, but it is like they calculated from the salary of the person, maybe like 80% or something like that for 500 days, 400 days. I don't like really remember how much, but it will be like much more money than the Kela money. And it is not affected by any other income for the house. For instance, if the person, wife is working or husband is working, and then there is like a high income, this is not affected. Or he's receiving money from somewhere else, so is not affected. It's just like the money that is calculating about like from the previous salary that he had. But of course, like yeah, but of course, like not, this is like not the only benefit that the person can get from trade union. The person also, if has any problem in the work, in his work, so he can also contact trade union, and trade union will offer for him free legal advice. And if something is like really serious, they take the case to the court and he doesn't pay anything, just like his membership fee. If the person is immigrant and he wants like to learn Finnish language, also the many of the trade unions, they like they organize Finnish language courses free of charge. Or if the person wants to know more about his job, they offer also like many trainings in the field. But the person has to know which trade union is more suitable for him. For instance, POM is like trade union that is more for a private sector. Rakennusliitto is more like for the ones who are working in the construction field. So it's better like to find the trade union that is like more specialized in your field in order to get like the best service. But of course, if you are a trade union that it is like a general trade union for all sectors, or you are in the kind slightly wrong trade union, you still get those services, but it will be like with less quality, because it's not like really matching with your own sector. So it's best like to find the ones who are experienced in your sector in order to help you the best. And by being a member in trade union, you are also helping the trade unions and supporting them to like to fight for your rights in the work. I mean, like trade unions are making collective agreements, and they are like arguing for your rights. For instance, the law, the labor law, doesn't say how much is the minimum salary for the person can get, but trade union says through their collective agreements. For instance, if you are working in private sector and your employer put for you very low salary, you can ask your trade union whether this is like accepted in their those agreements. If they say that it has to be like more, then that law is not like enforced to you. You can ask for a better rights. So the law is like the contract is the last thing that can how to say, like put obligations in you rather than what it is like written in the collective agreements. Like the collective agreements taking higher status for your rights. Like first you check like the collective agreement and the law, and then the contract last thing. So yeah, trade unions can give you a lot of benefits, and what they are asking is very little money. Usually it's like 1% from your salary, or sometimes is like fixed amount. So it depends on the trade union. But usually trade unions, when you are like joining a trade union, you are also joined to an employment fund. But if you are joined to an employment fund organization, it doesn't mean that you are like joining a trade union. So there are sometimes people um, like prefer to join only the unemployment fund organization, just like to get that unemployment fund, but they don't want to join the normal trade union to like to pay less for that, because usually the amount will be like less, the membership fee, I mean. So but of course, like if you are joining the unemployment fund, so it means that you will not get those services regarding the legal advice or Finnish language courses, or whatever other courses or clubs that or activities that uh, like trade union is doing, or even sometimes the trade union is giving discounts regarding the gasoline, or regarding the holidays, if you like hotels or something like that. So if you are joining directly to unemployment fund, so you just like entitled to this like unemployment fund rights. um, um, as here I wrote, like they are like separate systems, the trade union and unemployment fund. In Finland there are like 25 unemployment funds. An employee who is a member of unemployment fund pay a membership fee to that unemployment fund while working, and if their work is like ends, they become unemployed, and they can apply for the unemployment fund for earnings related to daily allowance. How he applies for that? First, of course, like he has to inform the unemployment office, and then he has to make the application for his unemployment fund organization. In Mirsal, we help in that. So if the person need a help, because it's like usually our, I think like especially after Corona, it's only like online application. So the person cannot go there, and like he can, I think that he cannot go there still like until now and make that application. So he has to do it online, and if he needs like help, so we can help him here in Mirsal. So as soon as he become unemployed, he has to register as a job seeker in Tetoimisto in the online service, and after 2 weeks he complete the daily allowance application in the unemployment fund online service. um, of course, like as I said, like if you want to get that unemployment fund money, which is like higher than Kela money, uh, you has to be like already a member in a trade union or unemployment fund organization, and you should not have been like 10 to 68 years old, because in that time you are retired, so you are taking different money, not the unemployment money. And you have to be an employee. There is a mistake always immigrants are doing, that they think that if he is like self-employed or for an employer, he can apply for a trade union and he get benefits. But usually trade union, even if you are not entitled to its membership, they like mostly they accept the membership fee because they also consider it as support for their activities and what they are doing. But when it comes to unemployment fund and you make the application, you find yourself that you are unentitled. So then you are thinking like, what happened? Like I have been like 3 years paying for you or something like that, but at the end I didn't get anything. And this is not the only condition. The other like very important condition is that you should have like residence permit in Finland. So what does it mean is that those asylum seekers and who start to work, Migri give him the right to work, but when they apply to trade union, they already received that trade union member like membership card, and they think that if something happened to them at the work, they can ask for unemployment money. But when it comes like to unemployment money, they tell them that no, you don't have right because you don't have residence permit. And this made like many problems, especially during Corona time, because people they didn't know that. But in Corona time, many people laid off from the work and they started to ask for unemployment money from like trade union, and trade union start to say that no, you are not entitled because you don't have residence permit. Many of them, for instance, Arabic speaking immigrants, they were shocked, and they thought it's kind of cheating. But trade unions, they already think that this is something well known and everyone knowing that. So, and it is something like kind of basic information for anyone, while those immigrants, they don't know that it is like in that way. So sometimes they have a kind of assumption that those people know, but uh, the people didn't know about that. So that's why in our organization we are making those booklets and the brochures in Arabic to make people know really what they can get from trade union. And we also organized for a seminar. We brought people from, like, we made like a panel discussion, and the guests were from unemployment fund, and we asked them like whether the system can be changed because of those people who don't have residence permits. So if they have right to work and they become unemployed, so how you don't give them the unemployment money while they already like well, you already like accepting them to work in Finnish market. They say that this is something written in the law, and usually Finland has a kind of cooperation with other EU countries, and most countries to give those unemployment money from their own country. Like if Estonian working in Finland and he doesn't have like residence permit in Finland, so he when he become unemployed, he get, even if he like if he part of a trade union, so the unemployment money will be paid from Estonia, not from Finland. But when it comes to Arabic speaking immigrants, because most of asylum seekers, they are like from third country nationals, Finland doesn't have this convention. And in the old time it was like Finland was so closed, and it was not a country like for how to say like interesting country to start a work or something like that. So they didn't know about this problem until refugees started to come to Finland, and now this is like a serious problem. But it cannot be this problem cannot be changed from the trade union or the unemployment fund, but it has to be changed in the law. Like the parliament should like propose that problem and make change. So it's like complicated. yeah, so till now, unemployment fund or unemployment benefit is only only like valid for the ones who have a residence permit in Finland. The ones who are undocumented or the ones who are asylum seekers, they are not entitled to this. Yeah, I already like said something about that. That unemployment fund is like they calculated according to the amount that you are uh, was earning in your salary before you become unemployed. Usually you can receive it for 400 days with the following exceptions. If you have been working in total of 3 years or less, you may receive for up to 300 days, not like 400. If you have turned 58 years old before the unemployment, you may receive earning like for 500 days, something like that. So it means like if you become unemployed, you have to still like check whether how long you will receive it, like 400 days, 500, 300 days. It depends on the situation. And actually this application is not complicated, but in many cases, like you find yourself as like entitled for more or less. Like it depends like case by case sometimes, I feel. So yes. So yeah, this was my presentation. I finished in a half hour because I think that if you have any question, I still can answer your questions. I still want to say that like Mersal is so active on Facebook. So anyone who have a question, like if you have a question and you feel yourself that you don't have time to come and ask, you can still find us on Facebook, and you just like can drop me like private message on Facebook, and I will reply to you. Sorry for today is like weekend,
No
so
worries.
kids are at yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. Does anybody want to ask something? No hands up at the moment. Well, like Sandra said, you can always send her a message and get some information more if there's need. And then maybe we can hold like a 5-6 minutes break before we carry on with this. And I will now stop the recording for a while or pause it. Okay, so we are back, and I will now talk about Kela from a little bit different perspective. You can see this slide.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I think this one. Yes. Okay. So Kela. Most people know Kela, and they know that you get money from there. There are, of course, certain like rules and restrictions in some cases. Kela is a social insurance institution of Finland, and it provides the means to live when you are not like working and in need of certain help. And the mission of Kela is to secure the income and also promote the health and well-being in general of the citizens, and try and support them in taking care of themselves. The people who have been granted in Finland are also eligible for the more or less same benefits as the people who have a permanent residence. And a little bit about where does the money come from. The earned income insurance is funded by the contribution from the state and with the contribution by everybody who is working, which means the taxes. In Finland, we all pay taxes, even from the money that you receive from Kela, they take tax away from it. So those are contribution to they go to Kela, and in the cases when you need some support, some people think that it's kind of money that you have earned already because you have paid taxes for it. Also, there's 3 national insurance funds, mainly where the support and the benefit comes from, or the money comes from, and they are National Pension Fund, the National Health Insurance Fund, and the General Social Fund. Then who and when somebody can get any money from Kela? There are many different situations in people's life when you might need, or when you are eligible for the money, like when you are unemployed. Sandra mentioned earlier about this income earned benefit, and there's also this basic unemployment money. Sorry. And there are certain requirements, like you've had to work on a certain length of time before you can get those. And also you need to register to the TE office in order to get this unemployment money. It can sometimes be a little bit confusing because you have to register to both, to Kela and TE office. And the TE office then makes the decision based on your circumstances, whether you are eligible for that. Then they will send the information to Kela, and then Kela pays according to that decision made in TE office. Also, if you are sick, you can get sickness benefit. If you are disabled or you need rehabilitation, if you have an accident, for example, and then you can't carry on with your own or your previous job, you might need rehabilitation. If you broke your leg or something serious happened, you need to be able to find a new field, kind of. And also, if you are permanently disabled, then you will be getting some benefit from there. People who are getting a baby, they will also get money from there. There's maternity leave, maternity money, paternity money, and also this parental allowance. They are little bit different, and there are rules who gets and what amount and what length of time. Also, in general, all parents will get money as a child benefit. So all the families who have children, they will get some money. Also, if you are divorced and the other parent who does not live with the children, then needs to pay for the children. In some cases, it comes from Kela, the minimum amount, and in some cases, the other parents pay directly to the parent who is staying with their children. If you need some money, like support and help to pay the rent, housing benefit, and that's the case when you can get the money from Kela. And also, sometimes when if you have a sick, disabled child or a relative, you can be a carer, this omaishoitaja. For that, you have to apply from social, and you need to find out and make application. There are different levels of omaishoitaja support. But that will, like, if you have to take care of the person so much that you cannot go to work yourself anymore, then Kela will try and support you in taking care of that person and you're staying at home. Then also, if you are a student, you can get student allowances, which is not very much, of course. And also you can apply for the student loan. Kela will usually be the guarantee for the person, and then normally you would apply from the bank, like any other loan you would apply. In some cases, even if you are working, you can get this unemployment, like partial unemployment money, and that will depend on how many hours are you working. Sometimes, like if you only work for 40 or 60% of the normal time, then the rest of the time or the rest of the days of the month, you will be getting some reimbursement, because the money won't be enough when you don't work full time. It's not enough even if you work full time always. So, and next slide. Well, this is a little bit similar to what I said. There are family benefits. Some money is based on your income, like maternity leave, for example, or your sick leave. The amount per day will be calculated according to how much you were earning before that. And that also, if you were working, let's say 2 months, that might not cover the whole thing that will be counted. If you have been working for years before you, let's say, have a baby and you stay at home, then obviously you have a better chance of getting better money, because that will be income related. This basic unemployment security and the parental money, sickness money, those are very similar in the amount, like per month, and those are like that. It means that, you know, no matter what the reason is that you are getting the money from Kela, it will be more or less the same. Of course, there will be some differences in there, but the amount is roughly the same. Housing benefit. Most people in Finland, or a large portion of people who live in Finland, do get housing benefits even if they are working. Rents are very high, so many people need the support for that. Also, one thing I didn't mention earlier is the pension. Pension also, the basic pension comes from Kela, and that is kind of it's less than those what I mentioned, this unemployment and that kind of money. And the student money also depends whether you have children, what is your own age, and on what level you are studying. Some things to keep in mind. From my understanding, people don't always understand that you should really notify Kela even of the smallest changes in your circumstances, because even the smallest one can really affect your either the amount of the benefit, or it can change the whole benefit what you are receiving. Like if you move the house, if you have a new baby, if the child from your household is moving out, let's say they're 18 and they are starting their own life, if you get divorced, if you get married, you know, all these things can affect the benefits, and Kela needs to know. It's always better to notify Kela as soon as you know that something has happened or that something will happen, because if you don't let Kela know that, okay, now my situation has changed, they will keep paying you according to the previous agreement. And 3 months go by, 6 months go by, and then when the Kela does find out, because eventually they will find out, next time you apply for something, some other benefits, you will have to give them all the information, and they can see that, oh, but you started working 6 months ago, why didn't you let us know? And sorry. And in those cases, Kela will charge you back some money that they have been paying you because your circumstances have changed and you didn't let them know. Often, like if you start a job and you let Kela know that, okay, I will start working and this is the contract and this is how much I will be getting, they will calculate the amount of housing benefit, for example, for the rest of the year or for 1 year from that day, and they will like divide it so it will be more evenly spread. But if you have been working already 6 months, for example, and then Kela finds out, that means that for 6 months you were receiving extra housing benefit and you were getting the salary. So according to them, it is like, too much, you were getting extra, and they will charge you for the difference that they have paid you extra. So please keep in mind that you have to tell Kela about all the differences that is happening in your life and circumstances. And please, if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand. Income support, toimeentulotuki. This is kind of easy and kind of complicated. Always the whole family's income is calculated as one. Even if the husband is working and the wife is staying at home, the whole income will be counted from both of their money. So in here, it's not so that it's his money and her money. It is the whole household's money. And this can be new way of thinking if you come from abroad and this is not the way your country has been working. So this is like important to keep in mind that everything that you get for that family will be counted as one when they count the household income. And if you don't get enough money from your salary or from your unemployment or from your maternity money or sickness money or whatever money that you are getting, if that is not enough to cover your basic needs, then you can apply for this income support. And even the housing benefit that you're receiving is counted as an income in Kela. The child benefits are counted towards that. Everything that you are getting is counted towards that. Then the outcome part, all the people have their own like basic parts. I wrote down here just a few examples that, for example, a single adult will have this just over 500 euros as the basic part. Then on top of that, you have to count as your outcome your rent and insurance, water, electricity. If you have like any health issues, you like need to go to the doctor, you need eyeglasses, for example, some of the medicines, but not all the medicines and not all the doctors. So if there's like a need for the doctor or for the glasses, for example, then you can apply for that. It is not always so straightforward. It doesn't mean that whatever medicine you buy from the pharmacy, from apteekki, that you will get the money back. No. It's like you have to have the doctor's prescription for it, and it has to be like needed for you. Just normal Purana most likely will not be covered in that. It of course depends on your situation. In some cases, if you have this income support, the social will already or Kela will already give you like a paper or a note that will be already in apteki, in the pharmacy, so that when you go there, they can see that, okay, this person, this family, normally the whole family is included in that, do not have to pay for the medicines, for example. Those are always also made like month by month, or like 3 months or something like that. So once your situation changes, then they might say that, okay, now you have a bit more extra money, so you don't need this support for the medicine, for example. Also, what is counted as your like outcome is the childcare payments. The daycare in Finland is not free for everybody. If you are on low income person or family, then you normally don't have to pay at least much for the daycare. Also, one thing that you can count, or what bills you can send to Kela, is this after school clubs, which is for the first and second graders, when because the school days are rather short, you know, especially after tarha, after daycare, the day normally finishes about 3, 4, 5. And when they go to school, the days are very short, like they finish 12 and 1. So there's many hours in between, like if you're working and the child would have to be at home alone. So they are trying to make sure that most first and second graders get this place in the after school clubs. There's not enough of those, we all know that. But because those are also not for free, but those bills you can send to Kela if you are on income support, and that will be counted towards that, you know, that's your outcome. Also, if you don't live with the parent, the other parent of the child, and there's like a court order that, okay, every other weekend the children has to meet the father, and the father has the right and everything, and let's say that they don't live close by, those the money that you spend on getting the children to that father or mother will be also counted to the outcome. You can send those bills. Obviously, for everything you need to have the receipts and bills so that they can pay for that. And then another thing is that when you need new passport or a new ID, again, what is necessary. If you don't need it, if you have something else, then they will not pay for it. But in general, when you need a new passport or ID and you apply for it, then those bills can be sent to Kela, and Kela will support you with that. So how it's counted, it's like you count the basic part. You have like couple, for example, that's 422 euros. And then children, according to their age, and why there is 3 different amounts for children over 10 and children under 10. That means that the first child who is over 10, or the second child who is over 10, or the third child who is over 10, and let's say that there's a fourth one as well, then it will be the same as the third one. That will not change anymore. But each person has their own part. So you count how many people are there in your family, what their age, and that comes to a total. Let's say this couple per person, that's 860, and there's one child. You add that 350, and then let's say there's one under 10. You add that together. Then you add your rent, and then you add your basic bills, these insurance, and if you have the medical bills or childcare and all these things, you add those together. And if that amount is bigger than what you are getting from benefits or salary, also including the housing benefits and everything, if the outcome is more than the income, then you can apply for the income support. And yes, I think that covers most of it. And in here, yeah, about the I mentioned the rent. The first link in here is about the whole of Finland, different cities and towns where what is the amount per person or per 2 people or 4 people. What is the maximum that Kela will take into account when they are counting your housing benefit? Sorry. So that means that let's say that there's a family of 4 parents and 2 children. In Finland, not the houses are not very big. You might think that, okay, this is really too small for our family and we need a bigger place. And for example, let's say that the rent, maximum rent that the Kela counts is 1,000 euros. But that's too small for you, in your opinion, and you want to get a bigger one. And then the rent for that is 1,500. So you need to be aware that Kela and social will not cover everything from that. They will count according to the accepted amounts. So if the difference is, let's say, 500 euros, then you need to pay for the rest of the remaining part that Kela does not cover. So if you are working and you are receiving a housing benefit and you're getting by like normally, for example, but you just want to move to another house because it's bigger and better, or better area or something, but the rent is so much more that it doesn't cover everything. That means that every month you pay from your own money for the remaining part of the rent. Kela does not cover the whole rent. Housing benefit is counted, it is 80% of the accepted part of the rent. And the first link will, if you click it, it will open up as all the cities, and those are the amounts that each city is giving or counting as the accepted amount. And there is difference, like 1 person, 2 people, family of 2 or 3, 4. So you can have a look, or that how much can your rent be? What is the maximum rent that Kela will consider a normal rent? It's good to have an idea when you are moving or looking for a house. Yeah, the beautiful house and a nice place and nice area, new building, it will most likely cost too much when you are thinking about these Kela things. Of course, if you are able to pay the extra 200, 400, why not? But then you cannot go to Kela and social and say that I don't have money when you have decided to move to a house which is more than Kela covers. It can sound a bit rough and hard because we all know that there isn't enough houses, and with these governmental and kaupunki houses, there's not enough of them. Sometimes they are in bad condition. You might have your health problems, and there might be some conditions in the house or building that it's making it worse. So of course there are many reasons why people want to change the area. There are better schools and whatever, but unfortunately this is how the system is. The second link is about the housing benefit, how to calculate your housing benefit. The last 2 are in Finnish only in Kela, unfortunately. But this gives you an idea how you can count like roughly what you might be getting as a housing benefit. When you need to know your own income, your partner's income, all the child benefits and everything, and you put down all the information in there, also the rent, when was the building, how old the building is, where is the building, your house. So you put all this information there, and it will give you an estimation of how much the housing benefit would be or might be. And the second one is about the income support, this calculation link, where you can also in the same way put down all the information that you are getting, put down all the information that you need the money for, like these daycare bills or the medicine or the glasses, whatever it is. But you have to put down all this information, and then you can have an idea that, oh, okay, I have 200 euros extra from the minimum level, so I will not be getting the income support. But if it's going to the minus, then it's likely that you will get some income support. These are always, of course, estimations. You have to be sure that you put down all your income and all your outgoings. And if you're not sure, you can always ask Kela that what is counted towards that as an income and outgoing. So yes, and in here, the last slide is just like information, contact information. The Kela has different numbers for different fields, different topics, like family things is different number, and international things is different number. Kela, they can sometimes be very crowded. They are full. You might have to wait there for a long time. But there is another way that you can make a booking, which is that you make a phone appointment. And that means that you sign in with your bank details to Kela. And then there's a place where you can book a time. It will be confirmed. And then at that particular time, Kela person will call you. That way you don't have to be queuing so much, or going to Kela. So it can be a bit easier in that way. Of course, sometimes it's easier to explain your situation if you actually go to Kela. You might maybe feel more comfortable that, okay, they understood and I understood. So, but this is just one option, that you don't always have to go to the Kela office. That is it. That is from my part about Kela. And there is Sandra's information and also my information. If there is any questions for later that you might need to or want to ask. And does anybody have any questions now? No questions. Okay. At this point, I will say thank you. And I put to the chat the link to the feedback. Please answer it. It's important. And again, it's very short, so it will not take much of your time. And okay, okay, thank you, Carrie. And then next weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, again at the same time, we will have different topics. It was the mental health and also the custody on Sunday. So please, I hope I see you next time again. Thank you all. Bye-bye.